She sounds like a fun grandma, though.
She's fantastic. Yes.
I feel like you get, when you're that age, there's two directions, right? There's completely unhinged, and then there is just the quiet, stoic, wisdom-filled grandma. There's no in between.
I cannot wait to be unhinged grandpa. I might already be.
You already are. Not even a grandpa, but you already are.
The unhinged has been there a long time, but I should be a grandpa. I waited. Now people say, can you imagine what college is going to cost by the time your kids go? I'm like, college, is that even still going to be a thing? And by the way, if it is, that's what's so freeing about the current culture right now. It's very financially freeing, knowing that I will never have to save for college anymore for my kids, because I would never send them.
That is true. You're closer than me. I know for sure. You're on the fence.
On the fence about what? Sending them to college?
I mean, so your kid, your oldest is what, 6 years away?
You mean age-wise? Temporally, I'm closer.
Yeah.
I mean, I would never send them into that thing, but if I were to, yes, I am. But I'm also much closer to death too. So joke's on them. I'm not paying for college. Life insurance is. And timing is everything in comedy. That's when you hit the button.
Speaking of jokes, I got one. I got the joke.
Good. Always on the punchline. Yes. Right.
So what's the difference between light and hard?
Brandon's doing jokes.
Yeah, we're trying a new bit, right? Business should be fun. If you're not having fun in business, you're doing it wrong.
Clear the deck.
It's our opinion, and we're right.
Clear the deck.
So, what is the difference between light and hard?
I don't know, Brandon. What?
I can sleep with a light on. Welcome back to The Ether, the show that disrupts the way you think about running your business. Join me, Brandon, and my co-host, Sean Delaney, the creator of What If, on today's episode. Our goal is to provide context around what we talk about so you have the clarity to cut through the noise and the confidence to grow and run a truly harmonious business. Let's jump in and take the next step to achieving business freedom. Welcome back to The Ether. Sean, did you get the joke?
I got the joke. I can sleep with either. But I can't sleep.
Well, for those of you joining us live, welcome to The Ether. Great to have you here. And let us know in the comments. Did you like the joke in the pre-show before we started the live stream?
Brandon, stay in his lane. You don't want me laying down the ether.
No. I know my role. I get one-liners, and that's it. I am not the comedian, but I'm trying to make the comedian laugh, and we're having a good time here. So
it's good.
We're talking about something that's maybe not a real fun time for people, especially in the small business world. We're talking about the FTC ruling of they banned non-compete agreements for anyone who is not a senior executive or higher. So let's lay some context around this. That means that anyone in your company making less than $151,000 and change dollars per year cannot be subject to a non-compete agreement. So, Sean, unpack for me from the lawyer perspective, what is a non-compete before we dive into what this means for small businesses?
Well, I didn't think we were doing that today. I thought we were doing something else.
We're going to get there. We're going to talk about how, now that this is gone, you will have thieves at the door, so to speak, of your business. People maybe within your walls trying to steal from you your IP, your intellectual property. And this is going to cause a whole lot of chaos in the marketplace, potentially. But if you do it right, it could also be really, really beneficial for you. So before we get there, though, let's unpack what a non-compete is for people who've never heard about it.
Okay, but Brandon, I am so still over the top distracted by how incensed I am about what's happened that I didn't want to unpack that today because we have a hard stop. I want to get into, so we will do an entire thing on non-competes.
Fair.
And we can even put a link in here about what it is, what the ruling means, and what we're going to do now, because it's going to cause a big problem. But I want to stay on the topic of thieves at the door, because
let's go there.
Because once whether you have success or not, once you are out there, thieves will come. Wolves will sniff around trying to take what you have if you are a giant. Of course, people are going to steal Tony Robbins' content. Okay, because he's out there and he's big and he gets a lot of attention, and so people are going to steal it. And I'm not talking about copying it or appropriating it in some way or adding to it. I'm talking about they will try to straight up thief it out from under him, which is stupid because stealing from him, most people know that it's his. We'll get into why and what this means for you to protect yourself from that, because we're going to a broader, we're jumping, Brandon, to a broader place of protection, and then we can talk about non-competes and DMCA protection and copyright protection and all that kind of stuff.
That's totally fair. I'm going to do my best to keep a straight face during this episode because we've seen a number of things in the first person around this thieves at the door topic as I pour my cup of coffee here.
We know that as soon as you're out there, people are going to come sniffing around. And it's worse when you're smaller and you're out there producing content and suddenly that content is showing up somewhere else.
Yeah, Tony Robbins has lawyers. We're talking to small business owners who, you can't just throw lawsuits down at every little thing. So this is a much different conversation for small businesses.
Yes. So I create a course, and this isn't a me, this is the people who have come to us for this particular thing, because it happens way too often. We've been in masterminds where the people, because it's like people marketing to other marketers, and they all want to work on each other's marketing plans and do VIP days for each other. And then people aren't honoring the contracts, paying for work that was provided, yet it's showing up on the website. Or people are doing really good work and producing YouTube videos, and then people are taking those same scripts almost and trying to play the exact same notes when they're not equipped to do it. We've had people compare themselves to us, and then when you talk to them, you find out their big claim to fame was, well, I'm an operational expert and I learned everything I know from Keith Cunningham. Wink. And then it turns out what they really mean is they read 3 of his books and then they parrot back words from it and then make up some stories that kind of fit in as examples because they never really had any big clients to begin with. And you go down that path of them sort of say, hey, we do the same kinds of things. And then you tell 12 stories about things you've done, and they have no stories about things they've done because they can't do it. They have stories about what other people have done that they've witnessed and can make some kind of connection, and good for them, but they actually haven't done it. So there's that kind of an appropriation of expertise, right? I made a course. Now someone copied my exact course and changed 1 or 2 names and put it over here. Okay. So some people, I understand that if you're talking about general things, then they're going to be the same. They're going to sound the same. And should we back up for a second and say why I'm so incensed? Because here's what happens.
I'm going to sip my coffee while you do this. Go, please. I'll be right here.
People steal. So imagine this.
I'm imagining.
A musician. Let's say I don't know, you pick one. Prince. Thank you.
Prince.
Thank
Prince
you,
is a good musician.
Prince. You've got a pretty unique sound. It's unique. You're not just playing generic stuff that maybe nobody's heard of. It's very unique sound. And you hire somebody, maybe you don't even hire them to try out in the band, and it turns out they can't really play the notes. How about this one? They're a roadie. They're not even actually a musician. They've never done any of this stuff, but they've hung around the band enough that they understand the songs. Kind of. They know the words because they can read them. And so then they start saying these words into another microphone. Not playing any instruments because they actually can't, but just saying the words and pretending like they are also, they're not saying that they're Prince, but they're playing all of his songs. Like they're a crappy cover band at best. That's different than someone who understands music, is inspired by a lot of different music and maybe does something new with it, like Prince at the Super Bowl doing a Foo Fighters song, and David Grohl saying, first I heard of it was when he did it, but it was amazing and I'm flattered. And he was fantastic at it because it was a unique interpretation of that work, full attribution, never said he created the Foo Fighters song, just did it. And so everyone knows where it came from, and that's his version, unique sound. He added something to it. Okay, great. So we don't, for example, when we talk about jobs to be done, when we're doing value chain analysis, we didn't come up with the concept of value chain analysis, never said we did. We just understand it better than 99% of the people on the planet. And so we never said that. We bring something unique to how it's used, when it's used, how it applies to the rest of the architecture. And when we talk about jobs to be done, I tell the story that I learned this. I didn't come up with it. Clayton Christensen did, and I learned it from him at this MIT conference, 5 days, doing high-level process re-engineering kind of learning, talked about it, understand it. We talk about it as his thing that lots of people have used in the mix of tools and weapons that they have to address business. And we've brought something different to it. We tweaked it. It's better. I think it's better. It's better. And we know that because we've been doing that for 20 years with very big, complex businesses, and we get results. Right. We've added to it, and the whole community at large is better for it. That is what we're supposed to be doing as artists, creators. We know we're supposed to be doing that and putting it out in the marketplace, which is what, when, and where protection kicks in, because our copyright is automatically happening as we speak right now on this very show. These words are going out, being captured, being memorialized, and going out there. Now, if someone is sitting there diligently taking notes on this, and they're going to do a YouTube video that is saying these very things, these very notes in the very way that I play them, that's no good. And it's especially worse if the person is a fraud. It's especially worse because they are using something that we are producing that is, because it is truthful, unique, entertaining, and valuable, is also attractive to one's eyes and attention. Because it's valuable, not because it's a lure to something. So they've taken our attractive thing and made it. Brandon, I often think of you as our attractive thing. And they've taken our attractive thing, literally, by stealing your words, Brandon. You should be more angry than I am. It's your show that they're copying. Word for word, kind of, except when they quote stats that aren't correct. And when they fumble and marble mouth their way through parts of it and have to quick hit pause and then do a little edit and then come back. And then put it to, and then cry as they put it to piano music. I don't know what that shit's about. But anyway, I digress. We're going to bring this back to everybody else, right? So this is how you feel. So there's, when someone, look, we've had people steal from us in lots of ways. There was the guy that copied every single thing.
Was it the first won't be the last.
Won't be the last. Somebody copied every single piece of our website. Okay.
I remember that.
Knock yourself out. We found that, didn't know who the guy was, didn't know how he found us. He's copying the thing. It was no harm, no foul. He wasn't really using the words. It was just the layout. But we had to say, hey, we know you're looking at this because what if he didn't stop there? Right? Okay. So you have to be on notice of those things. And it was fine. It went away. And this is going to happen to a lot of people. People are going to take stuff from your words, from your website, pictures, ideas, concepts, and they're going to not really understand what they're doing. It's clearly a lift from you. And that is usually settled easily by writing a note, a cease and desist with no, you don't need a lawyer for. You can, that one I'm okay with ChatGPT helping you. Chat Chad can help you with that.
Careful. That's not legal advice.
No, it's not legal advice. I am a lawyer. I'm not your lawyer. There has been no exchange such that covenant has been solidified. There we go. I'm not your lawyer. But you can write a cease and desist. You can tell them, I know this is happening. Here's why. Please stop. You can file things like a DMCA request to have the website shut down or have that material removed. All kinds of things you can do there. But so we'll talk about the law. But where these things typically hurt and are more problematic, two things, both more hurtful and more problematic, is when you know the person. So this is when, let's say, oh my God, they were my client. I gave and gave and gave and gave. And then now they refuse to pay.
Or in terms of non-compete, could be a former employee, could be a contractor. They could be very entrenched in your organization.
So we're coming around in the non-compete. That's why I want to do this one, because we'll talk about some of the people that we've helped. So, well, let's just do that right now. We've had some luminaries who have said, here, this person, they're not paying me again. And what do I do? And you got to sort that out. But it's because, and here's why it's in the thieving, right? The thievery. Not just for services rendered. They actually said, no, I don't like the work you did for me. And then it's all over their website. It's like, you mean you didn't like the copy I wrote for you? I'm reading it right now. Okay. And then we have to deal with that. Yeah, but that hurts because they're like, how dare they? We worked so long and hard on this and they crapped on it. They told me it was garbage, and yet I see them using it and making money off it. That's awful. And then it's even more galling, at least to me it is, if the very thing that they stand for is not the thing they're doing. I won't call him out, but one of our luminaries had me working with trying to get money from a guy who was a public speaker and wrote a book on in ethical and integrous negotiation. And all the emails that he was writing back there and negotiating where the money was and why it wasn't paying him were all like, yeah, go screw. Like he had no integrity or ability to negotiate anything. He was Mr. Win-Win. He was just shitting on everybody around him. So then it's even more like, what? How dare you represent that to the world and not be that? And then take from me in order to get more people into your trap. Terrible. Okay.
Yeah. So let me say two things about this real quick, because this is unfortunately more common than I think people realize. Even when you do put yourself out there in the world, there's not a whole lot of creative people anymore. And people do tend to just copy and paste and claim it as their own. If that's your set of morals and ethics, more power to you. It's not going to get you very far because it's very easy to tell. But this is also the general consensus in the marketplace, which I cannot stand. We've talked about this on a number of episodes of A Harmonious at Lunch. And this is just, it's crazy. The coaching industry is told, the guru coaches tell their students and clients, you just have to be one step ahead of your clients. And this mentality blows my mind, because it doesn't make sense, because what you're saying is you're going to be learning with your clients just 1 minute ahead. You need to be 1 minute ahead in the YouTube video than they are. And you could sell them something for $10,000, $50,000. I don't understand this mentality, but it continues to be pushed by people, and people are falling for it. They're investing their life savings in these programs to learn how to be a coach or a consultant. And then you have other people who are paying these people who know nothing to help them grow their business, and it's going to hurt them in a very short period of time.
And that's why they can't go 5 questions deep on it.
Exactly.
Or handle oddball off the wall questions, because they only read the next chapter. So when you ask a question that would be in chapter 35 and they're at chapter 10, they can't answer it. And you're going to be able to catch them hemming and hawing and doing all the stuff. We know plenty of people that we've cleaned up for them as well. Oh, I thought they knew their stuff. Oh yeah, they're out there. They're saying those things. I get it. They're not that. And I wish you would ask them more questions, because here we are now, and we're going to clean it up. Okay. But so here's the thing. The legal venues, and why I didn't want to talk about this, that is because that's all out there. We know what to do. It's easy to look up what to do according to the law. But where it hurts and where it's difficult is when the person does not care about the law. You can go ahead and make a stricter law, but if they don't follow the law anyway, it only affects the people who abide by the law. And so now, if they have some sense of self-awareness, so you have to make it, if they don't really care about your morality or your ethics or your income or your reputation, then you can't make it about any of that. Writing a letter saying, you stabbed me in the back and it's terrible. They will say, and what'd you have for lunch? I don't care. These things aren't relevant to me. I don't care. So you have to make it relevant to them. So what do they care about then? Because they're not playing the same game you are. Right? I have a business partner now in another business where he's very trusting. Not saying that he doesn't document things, but he's very trusting. For him, if somebody gives them his word, that's good enough for him in a lot of situations. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. But it's all the more, but that's because that's the game he's playing. That's the game he knows. That's the game he wants to play. That's the game he's playing. There are people who are not playing that game. So I'm sitting next to them to make sure that I see them coming and say, no, they're not actually, they actually don't care about those things. Right? So we now have a situation where somebody is literally word for word parroting what you're doing and in order to sell a business that is essentially what we do, right? Except from a different angle of it, but it is still what we do. So they're saying, well, I'm going to talk about stuff that you talk about in order to get people to have me help them prepare to exit their business. And that's not the same thing you guys do, because what you guys do is you get their business so great that they could sell it. That's like Vanilla Ice saying, I didn't take from David Bowie. That song goes dun 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 dun, and mine goes dun 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 dun. That's the same. Those are the same notes. That's the same song. No, it isn't. Yes, it is, and anybody who can listen to it can hear that it's the same thing. Right? So you have somebody who doesn't know this, can't play these notes, isn't even in the same room of understanding as you on any of these things, saying your words in order to entice somebody to go do something that they can't do, right? So this person, then, you would hope. So how do we make them understand, if they're a complete narcissist, how they need to go away? You have to make sure that they know that this could be bad. So
anybody acting like this would be classified as a complete narcissist. If you do not care about another human being's well-being, how it affects them or your clients, you're a narcissist. So not you listening. If you're listening to this show, you're not a narcissist. The people who are going to attack you and do this to you, those people are narcissists. So
one person listening to this show is a narcissist because they're
no, that's Harmonious at Lunch. They're listening to that show. They're not here because they're stealing that content.
Well, they might. Okay, but fair enough. Perfect. Then let's really have at it. Then here's names and dates. No, I'm not going to do that. So,
DM us. We'll fill you in.
We helped somebody else. Here's another example. Somebody came to me. They said, this person's not paying me. They know they owe me. They know. Okay, so let's unpack it for them. So yeah, there were emails where they said, I know, hey, your work's great. They had emails where it said, this is fantastic. They had emails to them saying, I'm getting more clients than ever. And then there's a note that says, yeah, I know I owe you the money, but I don't have it right now. Then there's a note that says, I'm never going to pay you because life. So, and they were like, well, so, and I need to, and it's not right. They don't care about that. I know they don't care about that because they can see they don't care about that. And you've tried to go on that, hit them in the places where it would hurt if they cared about that. They don't have those nerve endings. How did we solve it? I pulled the one part from the contract that the person wasn't paying attention to. And I sent them a note then saying, we've been overall, we both understand from your communications that you know that you owe the money, and we know that you owe the money, and you're getting great success for it. What you've forgotten is that in the contract, you gave my client the right to use your entire CRM for whatsoever purposes they deem fit. I didn't write that clause. I don't know who wrote that clause, but you signed that contract. And imagine, I'm not saying they're going to do something or not do something, but he has your entire list. That person put 2 and 2 together and immediately paid the money that they owe. Now, was this extortion? It wasn't extortion by any sense of the imagination, because it was legal. What he could have done, which is he could have just sent a note saying, it's a shame that this person who's teaching you about integrity is refusing to pay me. Those are true statements. They could have, I don't know. And or maybe, and if the wording had been bad, maybe there could have been a lawsuit, and it could have been even worse for both of them as they destroy each other's lives and spiral into oblivion. So my advice, right? So my advice to both of you is knock it off and pay them. And they both did, because it was circling the drain on both. The side that we were representing was very interested in doing horrendous things to this other person. Horrendous in the sense that they weren't going to kill anybody, but I mean, just like, I could do this, and I could, because I got pictures of him and his, and his girlfriend. Oh my God! All right, let's not spiral here. Let's keep this where it needs to be. Okay.
So you asked an important question though earlier. You said, "Why is this not bothering me as much as it's not bothering you?" It is and it isn't. And I think this is also important for people to understand, because it does not bother me that people take my words and copy me. If anything, I'm flattered. Thank you. I have good words, patting myself on the back. Where it bothers me though, and let's go back to navigation in our architecture. Our mission at What If is to demonstrate the acceleration, ease, and joy of running a truly harmonious business.
Yes.
For our clients. Now, This is the part that bothers me. When someone takes my words and tries to get clients to pay them money to do the same thing that they can't deliver on, now I'm pissed, because we're hurting potential clients in the marketplace, people who we exist to serve. You've not only broken my core values, our core values as a company, you've tried to hurt our mission. That part really rubs me the wrong way. So if it was like Prince and David Grohl, I mean, Prince is not offending him. He's complimenting him. He's changing it. The example you gave before, that's a beautiful tribute to that song and that music. He's not trying to steal, what is that, Foo Fighters? Is that what you said? He's not trying to steal Foo Fighters fans and be like, Prince is the new Purple Rain Foo Fighters. Like, that guy's an idiot. Come over here. It's completely different.
Yeah. And what's even worse then is that if somebody then said, well, if you're talking to somebody and they said, well, we've tried that and it doesn't work. What do you mean it doesn't work? You never worked with us before. Oh, I went with this guy. He says all the same things. I've heard all of this before. It doesn't work. No, they didn't make it work because they didn't know what they were talking about. A chimp was talking to you about thermodynamics. That's what was happening. And they didn't understand it. And so they just and just monkeyed up your business like an idiot. Oh, I get it. Yeah. You want to come in and give me, no. The monkey was telling you how to run that zoo. Okay? So
here's a test. I'm going to clip that and I'll put that on the internet and we'll see who's copying us. It'll be really clear.
This is the people. Yes. You want to copy something? Copy that. That's
copy the monkey sounds.
Doing who are stealing your stuff. Who don't actually know what you do. They're just I gotta get that thing back on it. Oh, well, we can't get him back on the leash. He just gotta wear himself out. When he gets good mail like that, there ain't enough tranquilizer in the world to take him down. Let him punch himself out. He'll be like, I digress. So now here's the ultimate thing, because we can do more on this, but we can do more on this, but what's the ultimate protection? Be loud and unique if you are unique and you're everywhere, everyone's going to know. Everyone's going to know. You can't just go start singing a Taylor Swift song and someone's going to go, I never heard that jam, but now it sounds similar. Everyone's going to know it because she's unique and she's ubiquitous. And that's the ultimate protection then of somebody just casually stealing your stuff. They will look a fool. And we're pretty unique here. We have a unique brand and flavor that's on purpose and also on purpose, meaning we get multiple things out of being who we are, aside from the fact that it's core alignment with our core values and who we are at our core. And it's the particular brand that comes out, the flavor, the ether that happens when Brandon and I mix together. It's the mission living in actuality in everything that we do. All of that creates that, plus the promise that we have that it will deliver as expected. Any results that we're promising. All of that goes into that. And it is unique, and it is we got to get it as many places as possible, because then anybody doing that exact show, they're going to say, I've seen this. This is Blue Man Group. Yeah, but we're orange. Okay. But it's still Blue Man Group. What are you doing? So yeah, that advice, that's the ultimate protection. You can't steal from Tony Robbins and expect no one to know it. And so anybody trying to riff from him has to say, so as Tony Robbins says this, and if that's where it ends, so come to me because I'm cheaper to tell you that exact thing instead of him, that is not the answer. If it's, and come to me because I know that and these 5 other things and I've combined them into this, and here are the 10 people that it's helped, now we can have a conversation. That is taking from multiple places. And to protect yourself from just being a derivative hack in the world, first check your morals, but let's say it's unintentional. Well, I learned some things and now I parrot them back. Learn from as many places as possible. Take from everything. The migration patterns of swallows, the behaviors of cats at night, the latest Taylor Swift song, and a rerun of Bonanza. Combine those 3 things,
that is unique,
8 things, and come up with something new. That is the seat of creativity. And all starts by asking a single question. What if?
What if? It's a beautiful question. So that's the beginning of protection, how to think about protection in terms of the non-compete. Yeah. This will happen to you, and we will expand more on that in the next episode of The Ether. So jump on over there the next week if you're watching live. Otherwise, just jump on over the next episode. We'll unpack this specific to this clause, but get loud, be unique, have your own flavor. All of these things we talked about, super important principles. And I mean, yeah, if you want to see where you stand in terms of your protection, your ubiquity, your get loudness, if you will, go on over to whatif.com, go take the bad. Yes, this is copyrighted material as well. So if you see these 50 questions in this order anywhere else, you know who came up with the first 20 plus years ago. But if you want to see where you stand, go take this assessment and it'll tell you, do you need to beef up your protection? Are you susceptible to somebody stealing your IP and your ideas and the words out of your very mouth?
You want to go act like a chimp, copy that. Don't you touch that. Okay.
You'll have some problems if you touch that. But no, we want to unpack it for you. We'll see you on the next episode of Ether.